number 17. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Mini Moon here, also known as Angie. Today is such an exciting video. I've been waiting for the last few packages to arrive in the mail so we can do a proper gaming haul. All the pickups I have been collecting and accumulating over the last month or so. And there's some good stuff here, so I'm really excited to share it with you. And if you enjoy, like the video, comment, subscribe, do whatever your heart desires. Okay, well, let's just jump right in. There's no need to keep you guys waiting. At first, I wasn't sure if I wanted to combine or separate my manga pickups from my game pickups, but one, I thought that would be a really long video, and two, I feel like not everybody who reads manga also plays games and vice versa, so I feel like it's better just to keep them separate, and whoever wants to watch each video can watch each video. I also want to mention that I feel like over the last few months, I've kind of been experimenting with different types of games, and I'm a lot more aware of what I do and don't like, so I've kind of learned through my experiences what to look out for when it comes to games, and other games that maybe are not for me, I've let them go. A few videos ago, I actually talked about some games I wasn't really enjoying, and a couple of those, they're rated really well and people love them, but that doesn't mean they're gonna be for me or for everyone. So that's what I've kind of realized, is that it's okay to not play a game because everybody loves it if it's just not for me. For example, like Kirby and the Forgotten Land, through that game I realized maybe I'm not that into platformers. It's such a highly rated game and I really wanted to enjoy it. It just wasn't for me. It wasn't giving me what I look for in a games when it comes to gameplay, combat, story, all that kind of stuff. Not to say it was a bad game, it just wasn't for me, so I decided to let that one go finally. Same thing for Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. It was a very daunting, overwhelming experience, and I was not enjoying my first 5 or so hours playing it, so I was like, this is feeling more like a chore than my hobby. It's a hobby gaming, so I decided to let that one go as well. So having said that, let's just look at what I got, okay? Because that's the exciting part. That's what everybody's here for, and that's what I'm here for too, because we actually have a package that I have yet to open, and I kind of want to film my reaction as I open it because it's a very exciting thing. Okay, let's just get started. Okay, I think I'm going to start with some Switch games because we have quite a few of those. Let's just start really quickly with one that I've already mentioned in a previous video that I got, and that is Metroid Prime Remastered. Obviously, I feel like everybody has been talking about this game all over the internet, and for good reason. It's super good. I thought I would have gotten farther by now, but I recently did play Metroid Dread, so I'm not in like a huge rush to play another Metroid game right now because there's so many other things I want to prioritize right now. However, I did play the first hour, and what I did play was absolutely phenomenal. Honestly, the world is so beautiful, the graphics are insane, and if you look at like back then versus now, the graphical change from the GameCube to the Switch, it's absolutely insane, and I really hope that they come out with Metroid Prime 2 and 3 also in remastered forms. I've heard word of mouth that they're not going to be the same remaster as this one is. However, that is my dream. I would love that because I actually am a huge Metroid fan after playing Dread and a little bit of this, and I just think it's a super fun game. Excited to play more of this, but it's not going to happen right this instant. So what am I playing? If I'm not playing Metroid Prime Remastered, I must be playing something else, and it must be good, right? And yes, you would be correct. That is Trials of Mana. This is a JRPG, but it's not like one of those classic turn-based RPGs. It is an action RPG, and what I've realized about myself is that I actually prefer action combat over turn-based and strategy combat, and this game has everything I love. When I look for games, I look for something that has the vibe that I love. So super colorful, vibrant, picturesque. That's what this game is. It's not an open world experience by any means. It's pretty linear, but I actually like that. And it doesn't have some insane deep story. However, I love that you can choose the characters that you play with. you have an option between all 6 of these characters, and I chose Reese, which is the blonde girl right over here. I chose Angela, who's the purple-haired mage, and I chose Duran because he looked pretty cool. And I've been loving their dynamic, and it has so much replayability because you can go ahead and play it again with the different combo of characters and you'll get a different experience. So I find that super, super cool. The combat is so fun, and the deeper you get into the game, the more interesting the combat gets. And you have a lot of choice with how you want your characters to play, depending on what you prefer. So you do have a lot of flexibility in that domain. I also think that what really gravitates me towards this game is just the atmosphere and like almost coziness that the game gives off. Like obviously there's a lot of combat and there's some really challenging fights. I'm playing in normal mode, but I appreciate that there's some easier modes as well. It just gives off this cozy vibe, and the towns themselves are so fun to walk around in, and it has like this medieval, almost fantasy inspired look about it, and I really love that. I also love that even though it's a linear story, there's exploration you can do because you wanna get all the collectibles. It's very rewarding to find all the treasure chests and all like the little things around the world. And I'm just enjoying this game so much, and I know it's not one of those that are like super raved about. I think a lot of people like it, but I think it's not like a super highly rated game or anything like that. Personally, it's right up my alley in terms of what I was looking for in a game at this very moment in time. So that's what I've been doing. I want to say I'm about 15 to 16 hours into this game, and it's not super long, which is also why it was perfect for what I needed right now, something that wasn't too daunting. And yes, so I'm really enjoying this game, and if you haven't played it, definitely consider checking it out. It's so fun. And once you get like within the first few hours of the game, it starts off a little bit slow, but it really speeds up once you start to get really strong. I've been rambling on and on about this game, but I also wanted to mention really quick that it is a remake of a game from the 90s, I believe. Seiken Densetsu 3. Did I say that correctly? I'm not sure. But that's kind of the charm about it, is that it has some elements that feel very new and fresh because it is a Square Enix remake in the last couple years, but it also has these elements of old-timey RPGs that I really find charming. Just do yourselves a favor and play it in Japanese. The next 3 Switch games I got have one thing in common, and that is their graphical style. I have been debating whether I like this art style or not for the longest time, and one day I just saw a video about this new game and I realized how gorgeous the art style was and how much I wanted to try these kinds of games out. And so I won't leave you on the edge of your seat any longer. That is the HD 2D art style that you see in games like Live Alive, Triangle Strategy, and Octopath Traveler. So let's start with Live Alive. This was the first one I purchased of the 3 because I thought it was a really cool idea to experience playing like these, almost like these mini JRPGs. As you can see on the back, there's 8 different like time periods that you play in, and with different stories and different characters. So you get a completely different experience in each of them with completely different goals, combat. They're really truly unique experiences. What I understand is they're all kind of tied together in some way at the very end. I don't know how they're gonna get tied together because I personally have not played it yet. I've been playing Trials of Mana, but I'm so excited to try this one out because the art style is beautiful and the characters look really cool and the stories sound really fun. The story I was most fascinated by and played in the demo was the Twilight of Edo, Japan. It's pretty much where you play a shinobi and you are sneaking into this enormous Japanese castle, and that was super fun to start a little bit in the demo. I'm really looking forward to trying this game out. Next, I decided to pick up Triangle Strategy because Again, the graphical art style just really drew me in, but also the fact that you have choices that impact the story is something I love in games. I heard really good things about the story. The thing that I liked about Triangle Strategy and Live Alive was that they're JRPGs, but they're not like extremely long to the point where you're going to be 100 hours in and still not finished. From what I understand, Live Alive is like a 20 to 25 hour experience, and Triangle Strategy is probably more like a 35 to 40 hour experience maybe. And that's really doable, a lot less daunting, which I can't say about the next one that's coming up. I know it's a strategy RPG, but I wanted to give this one a go, and what sold me was the fact that they have difficulty levels. So I actually played a little bit of the demo of this game before purchasing it to see if I would like it, and I really did. I played it on easy and I found that like perfect for me. So the fact that they have easier difficulty modes is gonna get me through this game, I think, because I'm really not used to strategy RPGs, but maybe after this I'll get more into them. And then finally, my still sealed copy of Octopath Traveler 2. I saw someone review this game, and truthfully, I wasn't really thinking about picking this one up. I didn't even play or own the first one, but this one seems to have so many improvements that I didn't even want to go back and play the first one first, because they're standalone titles in the sense that you don't need to play the first one in order to experience the second one, because they're all 8 new characters that you're playing. From what I understand, these characters' stories and backgrounds are a lot more fleshed out than the first game, which is something that I hold to great importance. So I was watching a review online and I was hearing about all these different characters' backstories, and I was like, oh my god, I want to know more about these characters. I haven't even played the game, I just want to know about them. So I thought, might as well pick it up. It's a very long game from what I have heard, but I think it's worth it when it's something you really enjoy. I did try out a little bit of the demo of 2 of the characters, Agnia and Casti, and I had a really fun time. So I'm excited to actually get into this game properly, and it might just be my next game that I play after I finish Trials of Mana. As you can tell, I've been on an RPG kick, and I am excited to continue playing / start playing some of these games. Let's take a little break from the games and talk about some Amiibos, okay? Only 3 Amiibos. I'm not an Amiibo collector, but if I see one for a good price or of a character that I really love, then I might just pick it up. So I saw these on Amazon for like $20, and it was a pack of 2 Amiibos, and that is Metroid Dread Amiibos. And this is Samus, that you can see right here, and the Emmy that she fights against. If you've watched previous videos, I've raved about how much I love Metroid Dread as a video game. It is so fun. It is probably my 3rd favorite game on the Nintendo Switch. There's so much detail, which I love, and I love having more figures on my shelf, so it kind of just adds to my shelves, and obviously I can use them in game if I ever decide to replay Metroid Dread. The Emmy as well is so detailed. I'm very impressed with the craftsmanship in these Amiibos for something that's just 20 bucks. And speaking of Amiibos, I also got this Princess Peach Amiibo. I thought this one was really nice. I liked how true to the character it was. Like, it really does look like Peach. You know, sometimes figures look a bit off. This one doesn't. I got it for a reason, which you're gonna see in a little bit. Okay, let's move on to some 3DS games. I picked up 2 3DS games because, as you know, in literally 5 days, the eShop is closing for both the 3DS and the Wii U. I can't believe that's happening so soon. I'm kind of sad about it because there's so many games that I would love to try out on the 3DS. Unfortunately, if I want to get them physically, a lot of them are so expensive. I'm not gonna ever pay above retail price for a video game ever. I'm not going to pay over $50 for a 3DS game. I just can't do that, and I can't start now. I just can't afford that lifestyle. However, I did find some pretty well-priced games because they are first-party Nintendo games. The first one being Metroid Samus Returns. I've been on a Metroid kick lately, as you can probably tell by some of my recent purchases. Metroid Samus Returns is a remake of the second Metroid game, I believe, which was Return of Samus, so they just called it Samus Returns, I guess. And this one, it looked really cool, and it looked similar to the mechanics of Dread, and I just want to experience more 2D Metroid games. I'll probably have to play Metroid Fusion on Nintendo Switch Online. I actually don't have Nintendo Switch Online, but I might have to get it at some point if I do want to play Fusion. But I'm really happy to have another 3DS game in my collection, especially one of a series that I really like. I also wanted to pick up a Pokemon game, okay? So a lot of the Pokemon games were kind of expensive, like in the $60 to $70 range, and I was not going to spend that kind of money on a Pokemon game. However, a lot of the Switch Pokemon games are not ones that are really raved about. I decided to purchase Pokemon Moon. I was confused if Pokemon Moon and Pokemon Ultra Moon were the same thing. This one was literally $30. I believe it is the World Edition, which you can see from here. I really don't mind the World Edition compared to the Nintendo Selects editions are kind of more in your face, but I mean, what are you gonna do? So I'm really excited to try out a different Pokemon game from a different console. Obviously not old school Pokemon, like this is still a relatively newish game in the grand scheme of things. However, it is kind of more of that traditional style Pokemon game from what I understand, and that's what I kind of wanted to experience rather than some of the newer Switch titles of Pokemon. So I am really excited to try this one out, and I'm excited to add 2 more games to my 3DS collection, and I am pretty sure I'm done with 3DS collecting. I showed my 3DS collection in a previous video if you wanted to see what else I have. Alright. So we're getting to a very exciting part in the video because this is literally a package I have yet to open. If you saw my previous video talking about my 3DS collection, I also showed some of my Nintendo DS games, all loose games. And my most nostalgic game was what I'm about to open right now. Let's open it up. We're opening it up here. Oh my god, it's here. Oh my god, I'm so excited. My most nostalgic game is Super Princess Peach on the DS. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm so happy. As you can tell, I did not get it in English. This is a very rare and expensive game, unfortunately, and I was scouring the internet looking for an affordable copy. I do have the loose English game, but I really wanted a complete in-box game. So I decided to pick up the Japanese version because I got this for $30 versus spending $100 on the English version. So it's actually in really good condition from what I'm seeing. As you can see here, I mean, there is a little bit of scuffing on the bottom here, but it's really not something I mind. I'm just so happy to have the box. Oh my god. And you open it up. We have the game also in Japanese, as well as the manual also in Japanese. I do not read Japanese. However, I probably just gonna really look at the pretty pictures. I'm probably way too excited about this game. This is the English copy of the game that I own, and I'm going to put it in my Japanese box now. The Japanese and the English ones definitely look a bit different. And here it is. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. That's why I wanted to get the Princess Peach Amiibo, because I'm gonna put this on display on my shelf and put the Amiibo in front, and I think it's gonna look very, very fitting. This is one of my favorite games from growing up. I always loved Princess Peach. I never really played a lot of the Mario games because I was too busy playing this one. I actually, still to this day, have never finished it, and that's the funny part, but that's part of the joke. That I actually was really bad at the game even though I loved it so much, and I was making my older cousin play it for me. A few years later, I did try to play it again when I was a bit older and better at games, and I did get through most of it. I was on like the last world before the final boss. And if you don't know, this game is actually like the reverse of most Mario games. So instead of Mario saving Peach, Peach is saving Mario. And I really, really love the mechanics in this game because she uses her emotions that give her different abilities. So you see, she has the one where she cries and she can go super fast across surfaces that are like crumbling before her. And then she has the super happy emotion in which she can heal herself. And then she has the singing, like almost like very giddy, which makes her float. And then she has the angry one, which makes her stomp, so she can like stomp down things in order to open up new pathways. And I loved that. It means so much to me to have a copy of this game. I don't mind at all that it's not in English. I actually like the Japanese one. So let's put this on the shelf and see how it looks. Alright guys, that's all in terms of my gaming pickups for the last month or so, and I really hope you enjoyed, and let me know what your favorite recent pickups are. If there's any games that I picked up that you really enjoy, let me know down below. Give me your opinions, and I will be out with a new video coming talking about my manga pickups as well. Thanks again for watching, and Mini Moon out.